Hi everyone. Now I'm back in Finland, and it's of course raining outside, but in here no problem. It's time to show a fairly easy way how to edit these time lapse pictures into a time lapse. So first of all, using Lightroom and Photoshop. So first of all, we've got all the 600 pictures that I captured in Germany um, here in Lightroom, and hmm, I'm using keywords quite a lot to identify the different things I have been shooting. So now I have one keyword which has this time lapse there. So it's an easy way to get the 600 files into one kind of a collection here without any other files. And basic idea here is that we're going to edit one picture. Actually, I have already edited one picture. One picture from the sequence, and then we're going to just apply the same settings to all of the pictures in the sequence. And if you have a lot of changes in the sequence, like in this one, it started off uh, quite with quite a lot of cloud, then it got more cloudy, and then at the end it got less cloudy. So there's quite a difference in the overall amount of light and dark in the frame from shot to shot. So pick one that's somehow representative in order to edit it. If you edit the lightest one, then when you apply the right settings to all of them, then the darkest one might look very dark, and the other way around. So maybe something in the middle is about right. So I haven't done anything too fancy with this file, just some basic adjustments on the exposure. I've actually used dehaze and clarity, which I normally hate, just because on this kind of a scene with a lot of cloud or mist, then it actually works quite well. And I think some of the horrible effects that these sliders introduce are not going to be so obvious in the video. But anyway, so once you have the frame that you're, or the image edited in a way that you're happy with, then you're using this sync button here. Well, first select all 600 images, and then make sure that you're syncing every part of these settings. So check all and synchronize. That takes a little while, but not too bad, depending what kind of computer you're using. Now the same settings are applied to all 600 images. So when you're then exporting them, there shouldn't be any glaring differences from one frame to another in the video. You can see also that I have already cropped this to 16 by 9 from the original 3 by 2, so this is going to be quite a normal aspect ratio for a video. And the next thing we need to do is export all of these pictures as JPEGs. So here in the File menu and Export, with all 600 selected, I have some presets which I've made here for time lapse. So I have exporting in JPEG, sRGB color space with maximum quality, and here I'm resizing so that the long edge is 1920 pixels, so that'll give me 1920 by 1080. Normal sharpening and my watermark. All of these things are up to you how you want to do it. And then I have also, when I'm exporting, I like to choose the folder. Choose the folder later, so then you can make sure you know where the things are going. And then I'm renaming with my custom settings, so it's the title of the picture, and then that's it. So go ahead and export all of these. There. And this takes a while. So we'll continue this in a bit. All right. So now that the files have been saved from Lightroom, we move over to Photoshop. For anyone who's scared of using Photoshop or not used to using Photoshop, then this is an easy one. So don't be worried about it. Start off by creating a new file, and from these presets you could choose the film and video and HD TV 1080p, for instance. So just make sure that the resolution that you're choosing here, 1920 by 1080, is matching the resolution of the files that you've just saved. And I think make sure that the color profile is sRGB, otherwise you'll get some interesting colors when you do this. We'll just go ahead and create that file, and there you have a blank file with these I hate these lines. Good. Yeah, and what we're gonna just do is in layer, video layers, new video layer from file. Then you're gonna navigate to your files, which should all be in the same folders. There you have 600 files here. Select just the number 1 and open. And what that'll do is it'll read all 600 files into kind of like a stack. And now you have them here. If you want, you can now edit a bit. I don't want to, but for instance, we could do some semi-crazy something or other. And then this edit would be applied to the entire video. So if you're used to doing some things in Photoshop, then you can do them here. We're not going to bother. So now you've read in these files. If you want to make the video, then all you have to do is export and render video. Here you can choose the name, and also the frame rate, the resolution, which frames to include, that kind of a thing, and then just render. And this also takes a little while, not as long as outputting all of the files, but it just turns these 600 frames into 20 seconds of, well, in this case, because I selected 30 frames per second, 20 seconds video time lapse. It's really quite easy. Of course, you can do more fancy things. You can edit the files more in Lightroom. You can do all sorts of other edits here in Photoshop if you want. You can also get into quite a mess by trying those things. but this is quite a simple process. There we go. Now just find the video. Yeah. I think this is kind of good. The action is a bit fast, I would say. So if I remember right, I was shooting one frame every 4 seconds in the field. It would actually, I think it would have given a better result if I had shot one frame every 2 seconds. Then would have halved the speed of the output video while still keeping the 30 frames per second. Now I could reduce it to 15 frames per second, which would slow down the action, but it would also make the video a bit more jerky. So I think this is acceptable for this time. But hopefully this was useful, and you can see it's actually quite easy to make these time lapses, so why not go and give it a try.